In 2008, I interviewed a founder who horribly tanked on Shark Tank. Maxwell Cohen founded Peelaways, the bedding industry's first multi-layer disposable, waterproof fitted sheets. They were designed for the home, industrial, and healthcare market. So basically, when a sheet is dirty or when it is time to change sheets, you just peel one away and the next clean one is right below. Max says it actually saves the planet by using less water, and it's quite popular in youth camps and for the elderly. When I asked him about the disappointing experience on Shark Tank, he said the following. When somebody looks at you and says, your product is a dog of a product, shoot it, get rid of it, and do something else with your time. I think that is motivation. He went on to say, I need to be here and prove you wrong. I know the product has validation. I know there's a market, but I'm young. The company is even younger. And sure enough, he got the product into Walmart without the help of the sharks. He is in Bye Bye Baby as well as Bed Bath and Beyond. And he saw the largest purchase order QVC has ever given at the time for a new product. So yes, he truly used it as motivation. And that is entrepreneurship. You win a little, you lose a little, but you always keep growing. Even the biggest loss is a small win. Of all of the things that you have learned over the past 14 long weeks, from vision to customer personas, from revenue to branding and design, thank you very much, from go-to-market strategies to product development, equity, funding, all of these things. It is the sum of it all that gives you an incredible advantage. With your startup, sure, but in life, understanding customers, so really having empathy for other humans, changes pretty much everything. And you will never unlearn that. Having empathy is a skill that will stick with you forever. And achieving one goal after another makes you a great strategist, since a sound strategy gets you to your goal faster. Max's family, the Peelaway founder, his family knew how important entrepreneurship is to personal growth. The reason Max had his fantastic attitude towards rejection was because his family of serial entrepreneurs has a rule. Every member of the family is required to start a company before they turn 27. I leave you with this thought for a second. Every member of the family is required to start a company before they turn 27. Not a lemonade stand when you're 8 years old, or a student project in high school, or a thesis during college. No, a company. It can fail, it can slowly burn, or it may flourish. Either way, Max's parents see it as a lesson. Me having been knee-deep into my company since I was 26, like so many of you, I can attest to the life learnings one takes away from such endeavor, such as getting myself onto the cover of Graphic Design USA back in 2007. How? Strategy. I knew they asked everyone on the list of people to watch in 2007 to submit a headshot. So my goal was to send an image that would make it easy for me to pick as the cover if I was the editor or editorial designer at the magazine. So I sent them my boring headshot like they asked for, as well as this image, which I knew would work really well as a cover. That is strategic thinking. But really, it is entrepreneurial thinking. What else can you maximize in any given opportunity? How else can you seize a moment? Or when my small consultancy got this amazing phone call from Warner Brothers asking if we would be interested in participating in an RFP. Now, an RFP, for those of you not in the creative agency world, is a request for proposal. Larger companies like Warner Brothers create the scope, and then they invite not every agency there is usually, but a handful of potential agencies they feel might be a good fit for the creative project. But what happens thereafter is usually a nightmare. It's a ton of work to create a proposal. And if you're lucky enough to be in the running of the final three, you then have to create a full-on dog and pony show presentation. And the chances that you win the project in the end are ultimately very slim. And the amount of time and money and energy you spend is ridiculous. So I have this rule. I just don't partake in RFPs. Now, back to the call from Warner Brothers, here is what I said. We don't partake in RFPs, but we'd be a great fit since I could solve the problem you describe in your documents for you in a much swifter manner than you describe it. And I've done it plenty of times, and I'd be really happy to discuss it more. But again, sorry, we just don't create proposals. Yeah, so guess what happened after that brief phone call with them? Well, I got a call back immediately the day afterwards, and they said that the VP wanted to see if it was at all possible and not too much of an inconvenience if I could meet him for a casual chat in his office at the studios, because he was really intrigued by my reply. Sure enough, we got the job after that conversation. No presentation needed. All other agencies had to do the dog and pony shows like they always do, and then they were told that they didn't get the gig. This is not me being overly smart. This is simply going through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. And you use the ups to gain self-confidence and the downs to progress. Strategic thinking is what you learn when you are an entrepreneur. There is simply no better life lesson than entrepreneurship. To create a product or service offering and go through the strategic process of understanding human behaviors, psychology, and at the end, really to understand oneself. No business school will ever be able to teach you that, but Founder Institute just got you as close as you can possibly without going out there and hustling. So congratulations, but you and I both know that now comes the hard part. You have to sell the idea you validated. You have to sell enough to make a good living and a good living for others. And you have to keep creating value for your audience so you leave an impact and so you continue to prosper. And for that next step of your journey, I have one big piece of advice. Don't sell. Instead, create value and give away as much as you can. Help your audience, nudge them into the right direction, and make your offering just another means to getting there. If you sell a healthy product, teach people how to get healthier. If you sell to artists, teach creators how to make a profit while creating. If you sell products to new parents, help them navigate parenthood. And here's one more. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Be yourself, be quirky, show personality, make your brand personable. Be creative and go against the norms, not only with your product, but with everything surrounding it. Stop focusing on the what and move to the how and to the why. Like Liquid Death, which is killing plastic bottled water by selling Austrian mountain water in darn well designed cans that look like hip microbrewery beers, making the brand look so cool you'd want to drink it when seeing a punk band live. You want to drink water. You actually proudly hold it in your hands at a club. And that is exactly what Mike Cesario, Liquid Death's founder, had in mind. Every time he puts out some new marketing or ad campaign, he wonders if Slayer would find it cool. That's right. For those of you who are not in the scene like me, Slayer was an American thrash metal band, and they were very active in the 80s. And that band was the inspiration to create a water brand that is killing thirst while saving the planet. But think about that. Who would you want to love your brand? For Mike and Liquid Death, it was Slayer. Who is your Slayer? That is how you create something unique. And back to Liquid Death, one more slide. The brand even makes you sell your soul to become a part of the loyalty club. So for real, it's a binding contract. Look at the fine print down here, right? It says on the very bottom, it says, by selecting start selling my soul, I agree I want to receive important info and offers from Liquid Death since they will own my soul for eternity. Or the latest company of Evernote founder, Phil Libin, who happens to also be a Founder Institute mentor, he decided to call his company That's right. Provides better video communication, and it's a positive affirmation. It is so out there as a brand name that it is genius. And there are hundreds of examples, right? B2C and B2B, and of course, D2C, but the lesson is the same. Show personality with your brand's design, with your brand's messaging and advertising. Don't hold back. Especially as a startup, you have absolutely nothing to lose. So the next time you wonder if you should take that big risk and do something bold, no, it's really not that much of a big risk. The only risk for you is to alienate the ones you don't want to have in your audience anyways. And in return, you capture the hearts of the ones that love what, how, and why you are doing what you are doing. Be different, since different is what we all need. Go ahead, craft your empathetic brand story. It goes back to empathy. Lead with empathy. Understand and connect with your audience, because empathetic brands have one massive advantage. Their audience actually builds their brands for them. Like when your financial advisory brand is your BFF, which stands for your best financial friend, and yes, they do have a glass of wine too. You know, they are actually real people, even though they give financial advice. It's shocking, right? But empathy does not need to go against the grain. Remember, just be helpful. Painting is a pain in the butt. So just make it simple. That's it. Claire is taking pain out of paint. Oh, and add some personality. Remember, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So now that you went through Founder Institute, your real work starts today. But be smart. Take a load off your shoulder. Do it like all these brands I shared with you. Have your audience create your brand for you. Congratulations, Berlin class of 21. You have achieved something amazing over the past months. And now we look to you to leave a positive impact on the world. Because the last thing we need is more products and more waste. We look at you to become a meaningful and responsible brand that we will all be proud of a couple of years down the line. And just know this, you will graduate every other day as you continue to grow. A graduation is solely a mile marker to stop and to celebrate you having achieved a great deal of learning. But as an entrepreneur, your graduation is ongoing. Like this cheesy image of people throwing their heads in the air that just keeps on looping. You continue to grow and learn and overcome failures and see successes every day of your journey. And to me, that beats any 9-to-5 job. And if you ever question your path of being an entrepreneur, remember this. When you have dinner with your friends or your family at the end of the day, your stories will always win. Because they will never be the same. They will be frightening. They will be outrageous. They will be glorious and unbelievably fulfilling, just like all your days will be as an entrepreneur. And I, for one, would not want to have it any other way. So congrats on one of your many graduations. Now go foster something wonderful. Thank you.